We're going to call to order the State of Franklin Board of Health meeting, June 12th, 2023. Call of order. Amy, Dr. Golden, and Alderman Barber are excused from this meeting, and the only missing person would be Pat. We need approval of the minutes from the meeting in May.
I move to approve the minutes.
Okay, do I-
Second it.
Second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of the May 8th minutes, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, we will then move right away into citizen comment period. And Dale, you are the only citizen. Yeah, I imagine this is dealing with the noise pollution from the rock.
Correct. That was going to be on this month's agenda.
Right, I can explain that now if you would like. We did not put on this month's agenda because we do not have the results from Milwaukee County on their study from the noise.
Okay.
So there is nothing new that has changed.
Okay. Thank you for saying that. So it'll be on next month's agenda?
Well, we won't convene again until September.
Oh.
But we will direct the health department to address the common council if we find that the levels, the decibel levels, are at an unhealthy level. And I would imagine that would probably be 85 decibels for 12 hours over a 7-day period.
As of right now, and I check your email after this and just make sure I have the right email address, but we will have planning be the point of contact, the
Yes.
planning and zoning department, for updates in regards to the noise study, because they'll be getting the results. But
85 decibels at what point?
that I cannot speak to.
That is
because
standard for considered that it may cause human damage at 85 decibels at 12 hours over a 7-day period.
I'd like to see her eyes at the end there when she said that. That is unbelievable.
I heard it was 71.
It is,
No, that's not correct.
no, it is 70
But
over
it-
a prolonged period of time. That would be 24-hour continuous exposure for months. At 120 decibels, it can cause immediate harm. So at 80, it's considered possible dangerous at 40 hours for a 7-day period, 85 for 12 hours at a 7-day period, 90 decibels, 4 hours over a 7-day period. But it's also, there's no real good study because that again is over an extended period of time, not necessarily months, but actually years. And it would be constant. The rock, unfortunately, does not have that during the winter months. So it's something that the Common Council would definitely have to address.
But my concern is that we have ordinances for residential areas. So what happens on the rock property happens on the rock property. But once it moves into the residential, it should match our ordinances, which is 50
If it's an
decibels.
ordinance there, it's an issue for the police department, not the health department.
Actually, that's not true either.
Okay.
So, so the rock is approved for 79 decibels. As of right now, we have no record showing
Right.
that they are in violation, and the way noise ordinances always apply consistently across the country is the commercial manufacturing will be at a certain level, and then at the property line, they are allowed to be up to that level. And noise doesn't behave as in, as soon as it hits a line, it immediately decreases. It just doesn't operate in that way. So we have what is created on a residential property can't exceed 50. Commercial is 79. Actually, sorry, let me take that back. The rock is 79. In general, we normally allow commercial up to 65, but the 79 is because there's a stadium present. And that's just not realistic to keep a stadium at 65. By the way, that also is significantly lower than all stadiums across the country. We normally do about 110 to 130 max. But it's a short period of time.
I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I would also like to say that staff is not going to continue this conversation at this level in these committees. We are encouraging this to all take place in the common council. They are working on a solution right now, and we want to make sure that we're working with respect to what they're working on and not trying to contradict their solutions.
given that this is not an item on the agenda, let's let Dale have his time for his
Yes.
open comment, and then we'll
Right.
continue on with our meeting.
I love machinery. My John Deere manual says 85 degree decibels operating.
Hold on one second, James.
I'm sorry,
I
could
think
you
there's
please stop it?
music.
Okay,
Is it you?
this is what it sounded like yesterday in my family room. I got all the windows closed. and the noise is coming in like this. This is a residential area. It's been there before the rock. Why do I have to put up with this noise?
Again, that is an issue that has to be addressed by the common council.
But you guys are the health department. This is a mental thing.
We deal
This
with,
is the Board of Health,
right, we
but
deal with laws that are already established, statutes that are established, mandates that are established. No laws have been established for noise pollution, unfortunately.
But there is ordinances residential. I'm not sure that
That
that's,
doesn't pertain to this.
it,
If somebody's noise was too loud because their next door neighbor is playing noise too loud, they would contact the police department, not the health department.
But police department does not handle these kind of cases. I just want to make that
Not
very
for the
clear.
rock, right?
Well, in general,
Yeah.
they don't. When it comes to commercial properties, my department
For commercial
actually
properties,
handles.
right.
My department
So
handles this.
why am I
I
treated?
also want to make it clear that this is not supposed to be up for discussion at this moment. This is for public comment, and I'd like to respect what Dale has to say right
Right.
now in this moment, and then let the common council go in and address his concerns,
Yes.
please.
So they'll finish up.
I will finish up. So anyways, why do I, as a citizen of Franklin, that's been there since 1995, neighbors have been there since the 70s, have to put up with this noise? This is my sanctuary. This is my peace of mind. It's not that I'm boxed in by, I've got 2 acres there. There is no reason. You wouldn't want that in your yard. Would anybody here raise their hand who wants to hear that on a regular basis? Not 3 days out of the year like a church festival. This is on a regular basis. And then when the stadium stops playing, the umbrella bar, you get music, boom, ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. The speakers have turned this way. I was out there with our alderperson Jason a couple of weeks ago. He said, this is unbelievable. The police department came the other day, and they said, I wouldn't put up with this as a citizen. He goes, you guys brush to the side like it's nothing. No, this is something. I pay $7,300 some in taxes. They knew this going in. This was a residential area. We warned them in the beginning the noise was going to be a problem. No, we can mitigate that. That's what the mayor said at the time. There's records on this stuff. So as paid employees of Franklin, I think there's criminal negligence on the part of Franklin not adhering to the noise pollution that's being in our backyard. It's just, my doors were closed. It was cold yesterday. And I could hear stuff going on outside, verbatim. So where are we going with this? We can't, like you guys didn't even know about this until we brought it up last month, right?
That's not true.
that is not true.
Oh,
But
we've been aware
again,
of this
citizen
for the last
comment
2
really isn't
Health
meant
directors
for
have
back and
addressed this
forth.
issue.
Yeah.
So it's been known for years.
Yeah.
And it's not that we're unaware, but it's not necessarily a platform of open discussion that we have in citizen comment period. So that's why there were no comments made directly last meeting. So it's not that it's
But
being
you don't
brushed
consider it a health
aside.
issue?
I did not say that.
Okay.
It is a health issue because at 85 decibels, you're supposed to use earmuffs if you're operating machinery.
One of
But
the
again,
roles
it's
that
not
the
on
health
agenda,
department
so we
is
can't discuss
currently.
that on the board.
Yes,
Yeah.
and one of the roles, I'll just clarify before we move on, that the health department is currently playing is to collaborate with other departments and hear citizen comment. So there has been discussions with the clerk's office, the mayor, planning and zoning to ensure that there are steps to move forward and hopefully appropriately, and the council is aware of the issue. So one of the roles too that we can play as the Board of Health often is to elevate an issue that comes across our table if Common Council or another committee that it may be pertinent to may not know of it. And right now it is at the Common Council level, so we can take some assurance in that council does know, and then working along planning and zoning and the noise study that should be complete mid to late June. So this month, hopefully, there can look to be forward progress in next steps. But as in regards to the citizen comment, happy to hear your comments, but we just can't have much back and
Just,
forth.
right.
are we able to share what the steps are? I think that's been part of the problem is the transparency in the
It's
past.
not on the agenda.
Well, and also there has been shared, so all of the Board of Health members received an update about what steps have been taken, as did the individuals who came and made comments at the last meeting.
Will you advise us to the results of that study?
If I receive them, I'll point you in the direction of planning and
I would be
zoning.
happy to.
and they can share that.
We will be doing working with the Common Council first, though, because they're the ones who actually can take action.
Exactly.
And I would like to be respectful of what I've been directed also. And we know they can actually get what we need to get done. So with all the.
But the Common Council was not even aware for 3 years
That
the
is
sound monitors weren't working.
That is not true.
That's what they said at the meeting.
That is not true.
That's what they said at the meeting.
Sometimes when people say things, that doesn't mean it's fact.
Well, it was the Common
I'm
Council that
saying
said
that
that.
in terms of what you're saying, sir.
Huh.
And I know I have documentation showing otherwise.
That
So,
the monitors are
thank
working
you.
the whole time?
There are times where it broke down during the pandemic, just like other things. It's really hard to get parts. So we did have a couple moments where there were monitors that didn't work. But then we've also upstepped the way we make sure that the monitors are working. And I really don't feel comfortable getting into all those details at this very moment. I'd rather have some written statements in front to make sure that I'm not missing any points, because I have a feeling sometimes some of our conversations have been misused to sell an agenda.
To sell an agenda.
Without any further citizen
Okay.
comments, should we?
We should continue on with the meeting then. Thank you very much.
Thank you, I appreciate your help.
Okay.
And thank you.
So there is no unfinished business, so we will move right to new business.
Okay.
And the health department updates.
Yes, our agenda is somewhat short for this month, but one of the things that we've been working to do is to get that quarterly report to everyone. So this month we have this meeting on the schedule, and it's more of a hybrid report. So Jamie Capera is here. She's one of our public health nurses. I'll run you through a few of the things on our report and things that we've done with the health department since we all last convened. And then Jamie's going to go into a little bit more detail about our immunization program, as well as communicable disease follow-up within the health department. So you'll see the handout that looks like this. So this is our brief overview of health department function and activities since we last met in May. So some of the services provided include those direct services that you all know to be blood pressure checks, car seat installs, radon kit dispensing, animal bites, things such as that. And we had 55 of those, so have been very busy at the case management and direct service level. We also have done a very busy season because it's food truck season. So not only do we do our license renewals for retail food establishments, but we also have a really large uptick in food trucks during the summer months. So our registered sanitarians have been busy out at food truck events, inspecting and ensuring that food codes being met at those mobile units. So we had 23 of those since we met last. And then to refresh your memory on those health and human service referrals, but those are like people who are falling or wellness checks or maybe hoarding cases cases such as that, and we've had 7. So that is quite high actually for our averages around 3 or 4 a month, and then 41 communicable disease follow-up. Also, since we last met, we have had our community health intern start. So AHEC is the area healthcare education center. So they have different regions within the state of Wisconsin, and they look to place students who are interested in a healthcare centered internship into a site. So Claire has started within our department, and she'll be working 8 days a week, or 8 hours, 5 days a week, and Ellen Henry is her on-site supervisor as well as myself, so that she can dip her toe into the world of what public health is. So she's been very busy shadowing and partaking in meetings, working on a lot of different initiatives, and hopefully she'll be involved in that Music in the Park summer series with the concert series that goes on here in Lion Legend. She'll be bringing that education component to the table there. We also had our wellness day. Debbie, thank you for volunteering. Great to see you out there. So we had over 100 people, and we had 14 plus organizations represented there. So we had resources, free yoga in the park, that 2-mile walk. I don't know if I'm missing things. Oh, we had Yell and Tell there, so a safety-centered story time from the Davidson family. And it was great. It was a good event. Lovely weather. People were excited.
Very nice.
A lot of smiles, a lot of nice community togetherness. And it was also Mental Health Month, so a reminder that a lot of city departments and the health department encouraged individuals to wear green to represent mental health. Mondays in May, but really a focus all month long. So the health department participated in that, and then Volition Franklin took it a couple steps further and did a lot of community education and community programming. They worked with the Franklin High School students who wrote a grant and were awarded and were able to bring in a support dog and different other activities to offer to their peers during that month. I will turn it over to Jamie now, and she'll talk a little bit. Do you want to just touch base on the meal kits too? But putting you on the spot, Jamie's been one of the lead people on the nutrition series that we've done, and you're kind of among it all right now. So she can just touch on what we've done with that, as well as communicable disease and the immunization program.
Yeah. So we received a grant, and it allowed us to focus on providing nutrition services to those over 62 years old and low income. So we decided to host nutrition sessions. So we've done 3 so far in May, and we have 2 more in June scheduled. So they come to the session, they see a cooking demonstration, they can ask any questions they want, and then if they qualify, they'll get a crock pot and a meal kit. So the meal kit we chose was oatmeal. So we have the oatmeal and then toppings for them to choose from to make.
Where are these sessions?
So the first ones we did here and at the library, and then the ones in June are both here in the
Okay.
health department.
Okay.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
one was at the Franklin Senior Lunch at
Oh.
River.
It was, okay.
How many people do we have attending?
So the senior lunch was about 125.
Wow.
But then the sessions here and at the library were ranged from 10 to 15
Okay.
people.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, and that one was a little bit more hands-on, where they were able to taste the food and whatnot, whereas the senior dining was bigger, so it was more of just general information presented to them. Yeah, and then for our immunization program, we provide services to both adults and children. So for children, we provide immunizations up through 18 years of age, and we follow the advisory on immunization practices. Any of their guidelines, we're able to give those vaccines. So we see an uptick right before school starts for kids to get their vaccines, and then kind of a steady amount throughout the year, with more so infants getting caught up on their routine vaccines. And then adults, we have not quite as many options. We do Tdap and TD, which they recommend they get that every 10 years, and then we can provide hepatitis B also to them. And then, of course, the flu shots for kids and adults, which are high-dose flu shots for those 65 and older. That's our highest amount of vaccine that we give during usually the senior flu fair in October. And then we also do TB tests, so people can come in, get their test done, and then come back 2 days later and get it read. So we have a lot of nursing students or people starting a new job getting those done. And then as far as
Do you give any more boosters for COVID?
we don't
Okay.
have any COVID shots right now. They're looking at potentially bringing that back to health departments and requiring all to do that, but we haven't heard any more on that yet, so I'm
Okay.
kind of just waiting for instruction.
But what we can excitingly share is about our COVID test kits, if you
Yeah.
want to talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we did receive about 125
Okay.
COVID test kits that we can distribute to the community. So anyone in the Franklin community that wants one, we decided 1 test per household a month.
So the policy is finalized, and then it shadows the DHS guidelines of distribution, essentially. So we were not sure what to anticipate as the maybe excitement around the test. So for now, that is the policy, and hoping to bring them out to community events with us, but then also have them available at the health department for pickup.
Is there an expiration date on those?
There is, which I don't know off the top of my head, but I think it was at least August.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
So we do have time.
And how often will you get these kits?
As of right now, it's a one-time thing. So we
Okay.
signed up to do a pilot, and we did not do an over order because it was really advised that you wouldn't know what expiration date you were going to get. So to anticipate just what you could distribute within a month, we had placed our order to receive them coinciding with the end of the national public health emergency. So on May 11th, a lot of people were not able to have as ready of access. Hey Pat. as ready of access to COVID test kits, so that we were anticipating that we would actually have a lot of calls about that and have not really received many at all. So hoping that people will utilize the health department if they need a test.
Okay, great, thank you.
One more thing, we're still going to talk about communicable disease.
Yes.
Yeah, so we had 41 for the month of May. Most of those were COVID again, but it has declined substantially from the previous month even. So that's good that those are still going down. And then
You don't have trackers anymore, do you? Or you're
Do
not?
you mean a dashboard?
Yeah,
We don't have a live dashboard, but we do internally track all of our data still.
you do, okay.
So where do you get the data from?
We use the system WEDS, which is the Wisconsin Electronic Disease Surveillance System, because we have a responsibility to follow up on communicable disease.
Okay.
So we do have data reports through that capacity, but then some of the other supplemental data, that's internal tracking.
Okay.
And then the remaining about 4 diseases were all the STDs, which has actually gone down a lot from the last month too. So that's great that those are both going down, and hopefully they continue to go down. Yeah, that's about it. Any questions about any of that?
Did you see a rise in any of the communicable diseases?
No,
Okay.
no. Yeah, May was a good month
Good,
as far as
okay.
diseases. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay, nothing else under the updates. Have you included your report?
Yes, that is that
Okay,
May 2023.
so
handout.
nothing else, you're concluded, then we'll go to environmental health updates.
And that I slightly touched on, but mainly was going to talk about the uptick of food truck events. So it really is a critical piece of the department right now. So our environmental health program within our department includes the inspection of retail food establishments. So ensuring that every establishment is meeting food code so that no one is getting sick from misuse or mishandling of food. So our sanitarians are incredibly busy during the summer, as they are all through the year, because we do aim to do at least one annual inspection of each licensed establishment. Also happening right now is license renewals. So we send out all of the renewals, and then the establishments fill out the paperwork and then send it back for their updated license. And then with that, we look to when we can inspect them. So
How does that work if the vendor is from another city, established in another city, has another home base?
for a mobile food truck,
Yes,
so for Franklin, we try to inspect them at least one time that they're here in Franklin within the licensing year, because we don't really have a really well-oiled machine of systems that talk to each other to say, oh, you were licensed in West Dallas and this is your track record of inspections. So we accept their license from another municipality
Oh,
because
you do,
that's a
okay.
valid license, and then we look to inspect them and help them troubleshoot any issues that they might
so
be
there's
having.
no fees for operating in Franklin?
We do have inspection fees, and we also can issue a license if someone doesn't have a license or some like perfect alignment of stars is happening, that their license expired and this is where they're seeming to operate the most will be in Franklin, then we'll issue a license from Franklin. But typically we have establishments for, in this case, mobile units, I guess I'll call them right now, is to go to where they operate the majority of their time. So if they're at the West Dallas Farmers Market every single week and they come here one time, they should really get their license from West Dallas.
Okay.
How many inspections do you do a month?
A month? That's a great question. In May we did, let's see here, 25. So it really depends. This month will be so many more than that. We've already done so many more than that because on Thursdays we do 2 events. So Croatia Fest. I can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but there's an event that they have, food truck nights, and then The Rock does food truck nights, and they usually have about
St.
10
Martin's
people
Festival.
on Thursday nights, or 10 trucks on Thursday nights. So we're busy. It's really busy. And
Do you have
then
enough staff to do that?
I would like to say yes, but they're very, very overworked. They're very
I'm saying
overworked. They're
all
busy.
the licensures that are applications, it's amazing that you can get all that done.
It is amazing. They are amazing. So we have Angie, who's our full-time sanitarian, and then Jamie, who's very part-time. We got additional funding to bump her up 0.2 FTEs for a pilot this year. And Allie, our administrative clerk, is phenomenal. So she is so incredible at tracking a lot of that information to at least help ease the internal process of it. But yeah, it's a lot of boots on the ground, going in the field, late hours, weekends.
It's not just the food trucks, it's all the other established.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Venues, yeah.
Yeah, I am pools, so they
And
also are
hotels.
looking at public pools. So it's busy.
Prevent a lot of illnesses, foodborne.
Definitely.
Right.
And it's a really strong education opportunity as well, because maybe if they cite mishandling, or if temps are off, or if they are seeming like they're going that trajectory, it's an opportunity to really intervene at the time of seeing it, and hopefully then prevent this from happening any other time that they would appear in any municipality.
Where are there other public pools besides the high school?
We have Innovative, and then we
Innovative.
have the complexes, so like motel, or not motels,
Condos.
yeah.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay. Okay. Anything else under environmental health?
There is none.
Okay. That is it for the agenda this month.
We had a very short agenda.
And I'm so sorry to be late.
No, that's
For the
okay.
record, Pat did show up.
And then we will mention, voted on last time, that we will be meeting again in September.
Yes, I do have a date on that.
It'll
It's
be-
usually the second Monday of the
Yes,
month.
the second Monday of the month. So let me pull that up. And I'll send the reminder email as I typically do, but it will be Monday, September 11th, and then Monday, November 13th.
Right. Okay, then I just need a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.